as we get closer to November 8th, where we have to enter into the presidential elections, I look around and I'm not hearing an awful lot of people too happy about what we have to do. They're going to go vote, but they're not necessarily happy about the choices we have to select from. And so as we look at leadership being elected this year, whether it's the presidency or other public offices, one of the things that begins to concern me is what do our kids begin to see? Because we work a lot with young people here at the Shrine, and one of the things that you see very clearly is that they're very anxious about the future. Because if you think about it, what are kids being exposed to in terms of leadership and success? Kids are learning that to be successful, I have to lie. To be successful, I have to be an adulterer. To be successful, I have to cheat. To be successful, I have to steal from people. And these are things that are causing great anxiety, as it should. They're wondering, this is the road to success? And so they're wondering, what is ethics? What's happened to the ethical fiber of our country? And it's a wonderful question to have, because we need to have it ourselves. You know, when we think about ethics, it's not something that happens when you become a professional or when you become an adult. Morals and ethics happen right from the beginning. I remember when my parents were teaching me the difference between right and wrong, that happened right from the beginning. I didn't always practice it, but I knew what the difference was. I realized that my parents were drawing their ethics, or in terms of what they thought was right and wrong, it was coming from a community. We were members of a church. We were listening to people talk to us. We were watching people live in a manner ethically or unethically, and watching their consequences that happens to them. And so that's something that's not happening right now. Nobody wants to build a life on lies. Nobody wants to build a life on things that are false. And so the Christian message is the apex, I think, is the most perfect way to live your life, because it is the truth. From the Christian message, you get character. From the Christian message, you get virtues. From the Christian message, you get leadership. There's so much that can be drawn out of the message of Jesus that is so beneficial for our world and our country today. Now, to have a child receive the message, well, you need a few things. First and foremost, you need a community. A lot of people now are living off the internet. A lot of people are getting information or everything they think they need from cyberspace. Sadly, as we've seen in the statistics, less and less people are going to Mass on Sunday. Not only Catholics, but across the board. That means that people are not interacting. That means that they're not meeting their neighbors. That means that they're not sharing the same values that builds up character and morals in a young person. And so, because we don't share the same values anymore, because we don't know what those values are, we're not listening to what those values truly are. And so, the other thing that a young person needs to establish a character is they have to see it available in other people. It's not just you believing this. A parent can't just give your opinions. You have to give what the community is believing in, and then join the community in its effort to continue to search out the truth. And the last thing I think that's very important is it has to be consistent. You have to keep repeating something. Any student doesn't learn something when you say something just once. It's something that has to be continuously repeated for something to sink in. So going to Mass on Sunday regularly is not just worship, which is the most important thing to do, but it's also putting in those values on a repeated sense that a child feels that they belong to a community. If we continue to have children that have no sense of responsibility, they have no sense of the common good, they have no sense of a shared faith, they don't have a shared purpose together, then I think we can be all concerned about the future of our country. Let's prepare all of our children to be concerned for the common good.